Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. So in this video we will go over lab 6 from unit 6, and basically it's a revision of what we've done in unit 5, which was processes, pipes, grep, and in this unit we went over email, so that's what we will try to practice. Okay, so the first question, on Moodle, sign the ethical code of conduct. It's just a file on Moodle that you need to click on, view it, and then it will automatically be signed. So you can do that on your own. And the second question, it's about processes, pipes, grep, and email. So they want you to list all processes currently running in the full format. When it says all processes, you can use PS minus EF. Minus E will be for all processes, and F stands for the full format. So the first answer is PS minus EF, and it shows you all the processes that are running currently. The next is extend the command from question 2A so that it will return only the SSH processes. So from PS minus EF, you only need to get the processes that are SSH. So you will grep SSH from PS minus EF, and then it will only show you the SSH processes. That is done. And then using the appropriate command, redirect the output of question 2B to a file named SSH list student ID. Okay. So all of this, whatever the output is from this command here, PS minus EF, and then grepping SSH, which only gets you the processes that are running SSH, you need to redirect this to a file called, so for redirection we use, or for output we use the bracket, the angle bracket, and then SSH underscore list, and then whatever your ID is, 20xxxx.txt. Okay, now if you try to read the file, it has the same output from the command ps minus ef grep ssh. So the second question is done. Now for the third question, you're supposed to copy to your home folder the file called mid-semester revision text located in home/lab files. So in this folder, there's a file called mid-semester revision. You need to copy this file to your directory. So copy, which is cp/home/lab files/mid-semester txt revision txt, and then in your home folder, for your home folder, you can just write the wave command, the wave symbol, and that's it. It will copy that file to your folder, to your directory. The second thing, open a second terminal and log in. In terminal 1, open the file that you just copied and answer the questions. In terminal 2, you can test the commands to use. So what they're asking you to do is open another session on PuTTY. Okay, and then in one of the window, you're supposed to open the file mid-semester revision.txt, and you're supposed to answer these questions. There are around 15 questions. You're supposed to answer all of them. There are some theory questions, some command questions, as in some practical questions. I'll leave the theory questions for you to figure out, for you to answer. But I will go over the questions that have commands. And in the second window, you can basically test the command before writing the answer in the file. So the first question is theory. The second question is also theory. The third one, what command would you use to create a file called myfiles.txt that contains a list of files and their attributes in your home directory? So we know that if you use ls minus l, that will give you the contents of your folder, whether they are the directory, whether they are files, whatever that is. It will show you all of them along with their attributes. Attributes are nothing but permissions, the owner, the timestamp, when it was created, when it was modified, the size. Those are the attributes for your files. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to create a text file, name it this, myfiles.txt, which will contain a list of files and their attributes. Here, if you do ls minus l, that will show you both directories and files. You're supposed to only get files, right? So in this case, what you can use is ls minus l, and then grep the beginning for the character. If you use this character, it signifies the beginning. So from ls minus l, get everything that starts with dash, because if you remember from ls minus l, the first character here is d. That signifies it's a directory. But if it's a dash or if it's minus, then it signifies it's a regular file. And from the question, we need files, right? So in this case, you can write ls minus l, get everything that starts with dash. This will give you files. So if I use this, notice now I only have the records that are files and not directories. Okay, this the output from this, you need to redirect it to my files.txt. Okay, and now if you try to view it, it's more my files, and it has the same thing. Okay, so the only trick was you use ls minus l to view everything in your home directory, but from that you need to get everything that starts with, now this symbol represents start, so that starts with a dash. Dash represents a regular file. So the command here would be what happened? Oh, insert for I, and then ls minus l, grep starting should be dash, and then redirect it to my files.txt. Okay, now for the fourth question, what command would you use to back this file in a backups folder located in your home directory? So what they're telling you, the file you just created, myfiles.txt, you're supposed to back it up in what's it called? You're supposed to create the backup for this file in the backups folder. Now, we don't have a backups folder, right? So your first command should be to create the backups folder. Okay, and then the second command would be here. So mkdir backups. I think I already have it. Okay, rm minus r. So I already have it. I want to remove it and create it again so I can show it to you. How do I remove it? Rm minus r backups, and then again mkdir backups, and then here you're supposed to, how do we create a backup? You use the copy command, right? So copy the file name, which is my files, and then you need to copy it in backups slash and then my files dot bak. Okay, why bak? Because that's the extension for backup. And now if you do ls backups, you can see I have the backup file. Now here you can even write it this way. I noticed it in some questions. The backup file, you can even create it with .txt.bak, but the last extension should be bak. So that's also fine. That's not wrong if you do it that way. Because I noticed in some questions it still has the .txt and then it has the bak extension. either way is fine. Okay, so the next command is cp my files dot txt to backups my files dot dot bak. Okay, so the next thing, create a copy of your backups directory including all files inside it and name it backups2. So you have to create the copy of the backups folder and everything the backups folder has. How would you do that? Cp, okay, let's try the usual way that we know. Cp for copy and then backups, the old one, and then the new one is backups2. Now, the problem here is when you try to copy directories which have content, you need to use the argument minus r, which is for recursion, basically. So now if you do ls backups2, okay. Okay, I will delete it and show it to you again. 1 second. I think I made a mistake. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but when you use the command cp minus r and then two directories, so basically copy this folder and create a new folder with the same content but name it backups2. In when you run that command, it will copy the contents of the folder as well, but for that you just need to use minus r. Okay, so the command here would be cp minus r backups and then backups2. Okay, then what command would you use to delete all files, all the old backup files located in backups? Note, these files should have an extension as .old.bak. Okay, so because we don't have those files in the backups folder, what I'm going to do is I will create some files. So let's say touch, and then in the backups folder, file 1.old.bak, and then file 2, file 3, and then file 4. So what did I do? I basically created 4 files with the same extension that they are asking in this question, just to test this question. Basically, you don't have to do it, but like for you to see how it works, that's the reason I created those files. So now I have those files, the ones that they want you to. So basically, all of these files, you need to run a command that will delete all of these files because they have the .old.bak extension. Okay, so for that, what you can do is you can write. So we remember, you should know basically by now that to remove a file, you should use rm, right? But you want to remove everything. So star, remove everything. The star represents everything. Okay, so remove everything that has an extension .old.bak. Okay, even if you just do it, even if you just use this with ls, it will show you. Oh, sorry, ls. First of all, cd backups and then ls star.old.bak, and it will show you all the files that have the old.bak extension. You just need to remove those. So you will change ls with rm, and then if you do ls now, see all those files that had that extension are now removed. Okay, so the command for this here is rm everything that has extension .old.bak. Okay, What command would you use to get a list of all the folders in your home directory that are read, write, and executable? Okay, so we know if you do ls minus l, that's how you can see permissions. Right now I'm in my backups folder. I need to go back to my home folder, which is the wave, right? So now if I do ls minus l, I can see that I have folders and then I have files. You need to get a list of all the folders. So how do we do that? We know all the folders basically have D in the beginning, right? If I can highlight this, oh my god, here. If you see D in the beginning, that means it's a folder or directory. If it's a dash or if it's a minus, that means it's a regular file. So if I want all the folders, I need to do ls minus l and then grep everything that starts with D. Okay. In this case, it's only showing me all the directories, right? Now, what command would you use to get, okay, so we have all the folders that are there in our home directory, but we need to get the ones that have read, write, executable permissions, and I'm assuming that it's for the owner. Yeah, I'm assuming it's for the owner. Read, write, executable. One second. Okay, so you need to get all the folders that are, I'm assuming it is read write executable. So for the owner. So for the owner, we know that the first three characters represent permissions for the owner. The second group of three characters represent the permissions for group, and the last three represented for others. So I'm just going to assume that for they're requesting it for the owner. So rwx, that means get me all the directories that from the list, from the content of this folder, get everything that starts with D, which means it's a directory, and it has read write executable for its owner. Okay, that's about how it would be done. So let's say if the question was that it is a read write executable for the group, in that case you will put three dots. You will put three dots here to represent that there are three characters in the middle after D, which can be anything. So the dot means it's a character, it's one character, and it can be anything. After that, it should be RWX for the group. Okay, so if you do it this way, then it can be anything here, but for the group it should be RWX. And let's say if they ask you for getting all the folders that have read write execute for group for the others, then again you would put three more dots to represent the permissions for the group, meaning the group can then have any permissions. And in this case it will not work because the group doesn't have, sorry, I'm confused, the others class doesn't have write permission on any of those directories. Okay, so it depends on the question. I think in your exam they will give you more clarity in the question, but here I'm just going to assume that they are asking you to show the folders that are read write executable for the owner. Okay, so here the answer would be ls minus l grep starting with D and then rwx. Okay. What command would you use in VI to save the current file without quitting? Don't forget to save before you continue. Okay, so in order to use to basically save without quitting, it's colon for the command and then W. Okay, and here if you want to save this file, for example, I want to save the file that I'm typing in, I would press escape and then colon W to save it. Now it's saved. Okay, Replace all instance. Okay. Replace all instances of the word question by the word questions. Be careful to not change the first occurrence in this statement. With what command do you use? Okay, so here in this question, you need to search in the whole file. So command %s, and then you need to search for the word question. Okay, so it's highlighting the questions, all the words that have question. Oh, sorry. Yeah, all the words that are question. And then you need to replace it with question. I think capital Q, right? Questions. You need to replace it with question. But now you have to get confirmation. Every time you're changing, you need to get confirmation. Why? Because at the point where you reach here, when you reach here, you don't want to change that word. Sorry. But but every other word you want to change it, right? So how do you restrict that? You can restrict that using confirmation. So with every change, it will ask you for confirmation. So now it's asking you replace with questions. You can either say Y for yes and for no. Okay, so I'll press Y and see the first occurrence here changed. Here, this word was question before, now it's questions. So now it's highlighting the next word. It's asking me, do you want to change this word here to questions? Yes, I want to change it. I want to change it. Change. Change. Now this word here, I don't want to change it. Okay, so I will write N, and that didn't change, and the rest I can change it. Okay, I hope that made sense. So the only thing is you don't change the word here, and for that all you do is you just ask for confirmation. Okay, so the command for this was %s question. 1 second. Okay, question, and then replace it with questions, global, and confirmation. Okay. Now, question 10. What command would you use to create a compressed archive using the smallest compression algorithm available of the backups to folder? Compressed archive. Okay. Okay, I don't remember which is the smallest one. So I will open the PowerPoint just to make sure that I'm giving you the correct answer. Oh no, not this one. I hope it's this one. No. Wait, is it? Yeah, I think this one. Okay. So bzip2 archival size is less than gzip. So I think bzip is the one we should use. Okay. So we'll use bzip2. Where is it? Bzip2, and to use that, the bzip is used for compression, right? The zip command basically is used for compression. You can also use gzip and bzip2. Bzip2 size is less, so that's why we're going to use that. because in the question they want you to use the one that has the smallest size. And then this is how you would use it: tar, CV, JF, whatever you want to name it, and then whichever folder. Okay, so going back here, tar, oh, okay. So here you have tar, CVJF, I think. CVJF. Okay, J for bzip2 and Z for gzip. Okay. And then the name that you want to give it. So backups. Backups. What is the tar for archive, and bzip. Bzip or zip? Sorry, BZ2. BZ2 for bzip. If it was gzip, it would be gz. If it was just zip, it would be zip. But in this case, BZ2, and then the folder. So backup, back, what's wrong? Backups to, okay, that's it. So backups to, but the trick here was to use J for bzip2 because that has the smallest size. So it is tar cvjf backups dot tar dot bz2, and then backups 2 will be the answer. What command would you use to create a new user called Muhammad Ali with login ID, whatever that is, his full name as a comment, and also create his home directory. So if you remember from uh, one second, why am I getting so many? Okay, okay, so this command you cannot use it in PuTTY because you don't have the permissions, but this is how you would use it: user add, then -c for the comment, which is basically the name of the user, and then -m to automatically create the directories, the home directory, and then the name of the account is A2018012334. Okay, so that is the command for question 11. Okay, so for question 12, what command would you use to delete all student accounts from the system and their directory unless they're still logged in? So you're supposed to delete all the student accounts and the directories for the students that are not logged in. If they're logged in, then do not delete their accounts. Otherwise, you're supposed to delete it. Now, this command, you will not be able to practice it because you don't have the permissions to do so. But the command would be something like user del -r, because we want to remove the directories, right? So -r stands for remove. And if you put -f, that would mean that remove this account even if the user is logged in, which is not what we want here. Here, if the user is logged in, we do not want to remove their account. So we'll remove -f for now and just keep it as -r, and then capital A 20 and then star. Okay, because all the student accounts start from A and then 20 and then the rest of the ID, right? So that would be the command for deleting the user accounts for all the students. If you put -f also, that would then force deletion, which means that even if the account is being used or the student has been using the account or they're logged in, even then their account would be removed and their files would be removed. If you remove -f, that means that the account will not be removed if the user is logged in currently. So that's question 12. Then you have question 13, which is change the permissions of the backup to archive so that all users in your group can read, write the file. What command would you use? So we created a zip, or let's say an archive, in the previous question in question 10, right? So if we do ls -l backups dot tar, I don't know where it is now. Just let's do ls -l. Okay, I misspelled it. Okay, clear. So because I misspelled it, it has a different name. But what we can do here is ls -l tar. So here you can see, okay, change the permissions of the backup to archive so that all users in your group can read the or write the file. What command would you use? Already the group members have read and write permission. If you use ls -l and the file name, you can see the first one is minus. That's because it's a file. The owner has read and write, the group has read and write, and others have read permission only. But if you were to use this command, let's say the group doesn't have the, what's it called, the read or write permission, then the command that you would use is chmod g plus, meaning for the group, give them read and write, and remove execute. Okay, so chmod, which is for changing permissions. For the group, the plus stands for giving a permission, right? So for the group, give them read and write, and remove, that's the minus. Minus stands for removing a permission, and remove execute permission, and then just the name of the file. Okay, and if you do the same command, oh, let's just make it read only for now, so you can see the difference. If I make it read, so for the group, give it read permission and remove write and execute. And if you look at it again, now the group has only read permission, right? And then you run the previous command again, and now the group has read and write, just to see the difference. That's the only reason why I did it this way. But the correct command would be same, chmod. You can use the octal code as well. It's up to you, whichever one you want to choose. But I prefer the symbolic is easier, because in octal you need to remember the numbers. But here you can just use the characters to signify the permissions. So G for the group, give the group read and write, and remove execute. For backups, backups dot tar dot bz2. Okay, that would be the answer for this one. So the next question, change the permissions of the file called myfiles.txt so that everyone has read and write access but no execute. Okay, ls -l myfiles. So currently the owner has read and write, the group has read and write, and others have read and write the permissions on this file. What you're supposed to do is change the permissions of the file so that everyone has read write access but no execute. So the owner should have read and write but not execute. The same for the group, should have read and write And then for what's it called? For others also, they should only have read and write. So again, the command for this would be chmod for changing the permission. User should have read and write, but no execute. Group should have read and write, no execute. And others should have read and write, no execute. My files.txt. What's the issue? Maybe it's the sorry, my bad. I wanted to remove this space, but I removed the comma. Sorry, my bad. So if we do ls again, you can see everybody has read write, and read write. Initially, the group didn't have, sorry, the others didn't have write permission, but now they have the write permission as well. When you type permissions here, just make sure that you don't put, what's it called? The space after comma, because then it will give you this error. But otherwise it should work. So for the users, which is the first set of permissions, give them read and write and remove execute. For the group, give them read and write, remove execute, and for others also give them read and write and remove execute, and then you put just the file name. So this is chmod users plus read and write minus execute. Group is read and write minus execute, and then others is also read and write minus execute my files.txt. Okay, the last one, terminate all your processes that are remaining from your previous RxDP session. Find find X and XVNC processes. What command did you use? Okay, so first of all, for the processes, we know you're supposed to use PS, and then you can use -U for getting all your processes. So these are all of my processes, right? So you're supposed to terminate all the processes. So basically, kill all the processes that are um, that are running XVNC. Okay, so for example, if I connect to remote desktop, which I hope that it works, because at sometimes in the evening it just doesn't work. So you see XVNC, this is the session we're trying to create. Okay, it's not working for some reason. But if you had that, I mean, if you were using remote desktop, then you will have the XVNC session thing. Um, and then you'll be able to see it in your processes. So for this question, for question 15, what you're supposed to do is find the name that will be there. So first of all, you would use PS -U and then whatever your account name is. And then it would show you the processes. Whichever process is basically associated with XVNC, you get the name of that process, and then you can just use kill all, um, kill all and then the name, whatever the name of the process is. Let's say the name of the process is XNVC. That's what you will use. So basically, right now I can't show it to you because I cannot log into the remote desktop. So what when you're trying this out, what you can do is basically open a session in remote desktop. What sorry, open the session in remote desktop and then use the ps command to see all the processes that are running, and then use the kill all command to basically kill the process using the process name. Okay, uh, just 1 minute if I can check. Where is it? Unit 5, I think. Yeah. I'm just making sure if there is another way of doing this. Yeah, I think that's the only way of doing that. So just try to, what's it called? Try to open the, sorry, I'm so out of place today. Just try to open the remote desktop and then run the command ps minus u, whatever your username is. Try to figure out the xvnc process and then use kill all kill all -9 and then whatever the name of the process is. You can even kill it using IDs, but then you would have to do it separately if there are multiple processes running for XVNC, sorry. Um, yeah, so just try to do that. Either way, it's either kill all or kill. And if you're using kill all, you need to know the process name. If you are using kill, then you need to know the process ID. That's the only difference. Okay, so after saving the file, which was mid-semester revision file, what all I did was :WQ to write and quit, and then that part should be done. Now the fourth one is concatenate the two files, SSH list and mid-semester revision, into one file. You can use the cat command and then SSH mid-semester revision, and it will show you the content of both the files together. All you have to do is run the same command, but then output it to lab6, whatever your ID is, not txt. Okay, now if you try to view lab6, you will see, where is it? Yeah, it's starting from here, and then it has content of both the files basically. And then upload the file to Moodle. Yeah, so all you have to do is get the file lab6, what the file we just created from PSFTP, and then upload that file to Moodle. That's all that you need to do. The rest is extra homework. You can do it if you want to. It's up to you. So I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can let me know. The most important topic for the exam is permissions. I would recommend practicing that unit as much as you can. You have videos for it on YouTube as well. So if you want to refer those as well, that's up to you. But
majority of the questions will be from permissions, and then that doesn't mean the other topics are not important. You need to know them as well. And the theory is equally important because you have 20 questions from theory and then 15 from practical. So, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. All the very best. I will do a revision video. I will cover the revision practice, exams in that, and I will also discuss the topics that I feel you should go through and that it will help you in exam. And yeah, that's it. I'm sorry if this video was all over the place. It's because I recorded it at different times. I recorded one half in the morning and one half right now. So yeah, that's it. Have a good day and see you next time.